Got you, Miss Harris. Mm-mm.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, morning, morning.
Good morning. How
Okay.
are you?
I'm phenomenal. Listen, I woke up. That's all that matters.
Oh yeah, on this side of the dirt. My.
Yeah, on this side. Right, right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, morning. We're about to start the question.
I am. I am.
What was the question again? I think masculinity. What's the difference between masculinity and independence?
That's the topic. The topic is what's the difference between masculinity and independence in a woman.
Okay. So am I responding to that or you have an actual question?
I have an actual question.
Awesome.
Well, first I want to define the two. And independence in a woman is self sufficiency, decision making ability, confidence, emotional intelligence, and financial autonomy. Masculinity in a woman often perceived as dominance, aggression, emotional detachment, or excessive control. But is that accurate? Mm. Hey,
This is a very interesting topic. I'm going to say that right now. And let
so
me
the,
tell you why it's so interesting. So I agree with you, London, because I think sometimes there's a thin line between the two. And there's a mix up between the two due to the fact of where we have to place ourselves as women when we're in certain situations. Okay.
good morning.
They would say changing a tire is very much masculine, right? But if
Right.
you're independently in a car and you need your tire change, you ain't got no choice but to change it. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like at the end of the day, I think they get mixed up because we're placed in situations where we have to play the role of masculinity.
Yeah, and not only that though, like to use your example, to add to your example, if I'm on the side of the road changing the tire, the whole time I'm on the side of the road, I'm hoping a man will pull up and help.
Let's start there because as a woman, I'm hoping some random man stop and say, "Let me help you," but you got 50 million cars passing us, and I'm by myself
Right.
in a tire. I am too fine for this. Why are you not stopping? And then you get upset when I have to be placed in that role.
Exactly.
If you're not going to step up in a space so I don't have to present a masculine aura, I guess you can call it, then step up then, whether I'm a random woman or not.
Right.
And I think thank you. Thank you. Love you really. Um, but I think that's what's happening. We get it so mixed up in a space of not understanding the situation first instead of assuming what it's supposed to look like.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm gonna,
Oh no, you good. You
I
good.
thought you were, I was like, let me not take
No.
over.
Hey Mika.
Hello, hello, hello.
You
I'm,
look
I'm,
so
I'm
pretty, Nika. I thought
Well, thank you, babe.
what Cliff do to your hair?
Nothing.
I'm messing with you, Mika.
She said I woke up like this, okay? Not too much on me. Not too much on me.
Thank you for the hand
Okay. Not too
so,
much on her, okay?
so yeah, the topic is what's the difference between masculinity and independence in a woman? It is a very thin line because we often confuse the two. So,
I
what
feel
word?
like a woman can be independent without being masculine. And likewise, she can exhibit like masculine traits without being necessarily independent as well. I feel like it's a cultural and individual basis of what those traits mean to people on a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely defines some gender type of stereotypes. You know, like in some cultures, I think that independence in women is discouraged. So whenever they do exhibit that type of independence, then it's mistakenly labeled as being masculine. You know, like you hear that terminology, are you being mannish?
Yeah.
I just
You
really,
know?
I I agree with you 100%. I just really wish people like assess the situation first of why we're placed in these places of masculinity. But if you really look at the two definitions, they're two different things. But in order for you
Polar
to
opposites.
understand the two different things, you have to assess what is happening in that moment. Like I said, when it comes to the tire situation, if I'm
Listen,
driving by myself, I'm going to change it.
By
I was
yourself.
being on live that day, coming out of Walmart. That day I was dancing in
Oh
Walmart,
yeah.
came out of Walmart, and my tire was flat. And then this beautiful man came out of nowhere with one of them power
Yeah,
jacks.
I
Jacked
know
my
what you're talking
tire.
about.
And I was like, "Thank you, sir." And then he wouldn't even take any money from me. You know what I mean? It was
But
just
that's
like
Oh,
what
he
I'm
just
talking
did
about.
it.
You was taken out of a road that you didn't need to
Yeah,
be in. And
yeah.
now you're like, okay, I know I'm independent now. You can say, super independence and super masculinity if you said, no, I got it. Let me take care of my own tire. Okay, do you,
And
girl?
I did not. I was like, "Thank you, sir," because I was looking at my manicure and I was like, "It's too hot out here for all of that."
I
And
remember
it was
that.
sunny. You remember? I was just like, it was like this dude just came out of nowhere and he had all the tools and everything on the back of his truck. And I was like, "Thank you, Lord. You
But
saved
I
me
did not
today."
refuse the service.
I was just like, "Thank you." What did I say? I was like, "Guys," I think I
Yeah,
said it. I said, chivalry is not dead.
Right, you did.
Like the guy literally was like, "No, ma'am, I got it." And I was like, "Thank you for having it." Because my husband was out of town.
right.
Yeah, you probably end up having to call somebody, roadside assistance
Call
or
Cliff.
something.
Cliff said, "Call roadside assistance." You know?
That's me now. Since I got that full coverage, I would be calling roadside assistance. Somebody else to do
He's like,
it.
"It's paid for
Get
this." Like,
somebody
call them.
else to do it. This
But
is
no.
not my in my pay grade at all. I get it.
Exactly. I was just like, nope.
But sometimes like you said, we're all forced into doing things ourselves, not to be masculine, but to just get the job done, basically. Because I can remember, I had a '99 Pontiac Grand Am, loved that car to death, and I passed it along to my daughter, um, so she could have something to go back and forth to college in, and just to have a car to go back and forth to work and whatever. So I gave her that, and I got me another car. So long story short, things would go wrong in that car, little things. She and I would we would YouTube everything that went wrong in that car and fix it ourselves. And it wasn't because um
We didn't want nobody else to fix it. We was trying to save some money.
that part, like, we could do this. We just got to get the part, and we could do it ourselves, and we
But
did.
but and that's the thing. That's the very thing people don't understand. It's that it's now if I refuse the help or whatever the case may be, then you can say, okay, girl. Like at this point, you the Hulk. At this point, you're a whole man. It's because of the refusal. But if I'm allowing the openness and allowing the person, I guess you can say the man, to go ahead and change the tire, take the trash out, work on the car. If I'm allowing that person to do it because there's an open opportunity, then that's different. But if I'm like, oh no, I'm good, I got this. In other words, you guys got it because you wanted to save money, not because there was a man sitting on the couch in the house. Period.
Right. Yeah, and mind you, there was a shade tree mechanic 2 houses over that could that would have been, would have done it, but I would have had to pay him. So but it was, and then we looked at it as a learning experience, something that we felt like we need to know as well. Like, change the battery. It's only a negative and a positive. The hardest part is
Right.
lifting it.
Yeah, no,
You got a
I
50-50 chance of getting it right.
Right. So, and if we didn't get it right, okay, now we need some help.
you tried it, you figured it out, and I think that's what people need to realize. It's me figuring it out so I can change it in the future if I had to. But if I don't have to, then I'm not gonna put myself out there to do it.
Right. So,
Just like Mika said, she said, please do. Take the jacket, do whatever you need to
I
do.
just got my nails done. I was not trying to.
Please, by all means.
By all means, go ahead.
Mimi Days. Hi, gorgeous.
And I
so,
was like, let me go in here and go get some money for this man. He was like, no, ma'am, would not take my cash.
so I got a question for the panel and for the people in the chat. What words or images come to mind when you hear independent women?
Ooh.
Beyonce,
Beyonce.
I'm going to say
I'm a survivor.
Charlie's Angels.
Say my
Um,
name, say my name.
Right.
Who had that song Independent Woman? Wasn't that was Alicia Keys, right?
Was it?
Hmm.
I don't think
Independent woman?
I don't think
Didn't
that
she have a
was
song called Independent Woman?
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think it
Let's
was
go look it
Alicia.
up. It's okay. Don't even worry about it. I got my iPad right here. We're just gonna look it up.
So, yeah, like what word or image come to mind for me? Oh, this Destiny Child. There you go. Um,
Okay.
I knew. I was like, it sounded like Destiny Child, but I wasn't.
you was close when you said Beyonce.
Yeah, something.
She said somebody. No, really, I'm thinking, the word I'm thinking of is surviving in a space that I have to be in by myself. Rather that's uh,
It's Superwoman. That's the song she's got. I had to think about it.
Okay, Mama Nisa says strength.
Strength, totally. I think that you know, I actually thought a lot about this topic. Like once we knew what it was going to be, and because it's really controversial to me. But I'm probably the oldest heifer in here, but it's to me though the beauty of being independent as much as we can, because you know masculine there's just something about that word that just a little lightweight bothers me for us to be beautiful women, but everyone needs help. When I thought about it, okay, men need as much help as women do. They're just different entities that they need help with. Whether it can be their spiritual well being, their emotional well being, getting in touch with, oh, where did Miss Harris go?
She got a call.
Oh, yeah, she got a call.
Okay.
After a few minutes, it'll kick you out. Um,
Okay.
mhm.
But anyways, that's what I was going to say, that I think we're on a little bit more equal and even playing ground than we might, suspect, as we just need help in different areas.
Well, I feel like the one that comes well for me, the one that comes to mind is sufficiency. Let
Three
me try.
times fast.
Say it again.
Okay, Queen. Self sufficiency. That's the one word that comes to mind. Hey, Conjure.
Conjure.
I said Conjure. I want to say I needed to say it with my French accent.
Accent.
Hey,
Get out
love.
of
I
my
miss
head.
you.
I had a lot of masculinity in me today. I mean, this week, you know what I'm saying?
You and your soft girl era, London.
Yes, I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get there, London.
I don't know,
I
but
don't have
sometimes
one anymore. I
I
love
just
it.
feel like the two have to have balance, though. You have to be able to balance the two.
Well, I'm tell you, I don't know what y'all said. I'm gonna be honest. I'm sorry, I didn't hear y'all stories. But when I was married, I was very feminine. Okay, so feminine. I'm like, what you need, baby? Okay, this house is about to be smelling like Fabuloso or whatever. Plug it in, bleach, whatever you use to clean your homes. Okay. So when that man walked through that house, it's like with a woo, it smelled good. But at the same time, whatever he could do, I could do better. So y'all
Mm.
know those little jokes, like if you ask somebody to do something and they don't do it, woman in the house, we be like, I'm gonna do it. Like if you ain't gonna build this bookshelf, I'm gonna build the bookshelf, and I would do it.
I'm looking at two that I put together myself, but
Hey.
but it was therapy for me. I just sat on the floor and put them together, not
Yeah,
because
because I used to like taking things apart and putting them back together. So I used to think that I was doing my man a favor, but I found out that that was being a little bit masculine.
Mm.
yeah. So, what words or images come to mind when you hear independent women, or how about masculine women?
When I hear independent woman, for some reason, I think of a woman paying their bills, but that's not what it is.
That
Exactly, Patty.
Exactly, Patty.
and that's the confusion. Here lies the confusion.
Mm.
That is the confusion.
I mean, I'm married, but I'm still independently who I am.
Independent. No, what did that mean?
That doesn't mean I don't depend on my husband.
I got my own house. I got my
Hey,
own car.
hey.
House.
Two jobs.
I'm fly. I look good. I
But
smell
lies,
good.
she got
Shoot.
15 jobs, y'all. She talking about two
Come
jobs.
on.
Hey, Patty. Hey, London. Hey, y'all in the chat. Hey, Dottie. Hey, Soul Star.
Who's that?
Hey,
I got to clock into.
relationships work only with independence. London, you need to bring you up here.
That's facts. That's facts. Interdependence.
Relationships only work with independence.
Interdependence.
Entered. Okay,
That's where
that's
you're
what
dependent upon each other, where you guys balance each other out. And I agree with that.
I have read. That was like the first book I've ever read
Ew.
about finance and money.
Rich dad, poor dad.
But I mean, but it does get on my nerves that there's like this stereotype out there that a lot of women are masculine, and there are some women that are masculine out there. But I don't think paying your own bills and doing what you got to do makes you an independent woman. I don't think that makes you a masculine. Make you masculine. Um, so when I think of masculine traits, especially like in a woman, I think of control for some reason. That's what I think of.
So, so why the confusion between the two? Like, is it cultural messages?
Yep.
Like, because social media, they blur the lines.
It is just cultural.
What about conditioning?
Or is it traditional? Because back in the day, you got a husband and the husband got a wife, and then that wife was cooking in the house and she was cleaning and she was having babies and she balanced the checkbook,
I
and
think
the
that
man
that's
got
that
out the
condition.
house
That's
and
that
he was
conditioning.
working.
Yeah, that's
Hmm?
that conditioned
Getting there
thinking
so
that
far. Get,
that
getting there.
that conditioned response that people feel is supposed to be the way it's supposed to be in a household. Those are the traditional. I think what you're talking about is conditioned stuff that we were taught how it was supposed to be, or some of us were told it was supposed to be like that. Um, The husband goes to work, the wife does everything at the house, kind of controls the house. She works the home, like you said, with the finances and all of that stuff. The husband just comes home. I bring home the bacon, put it in a pan. Y'all remember that commercial?
Oh yeah.
Sure do.
The whole thing. But I don't think that being independent makes you a masculine person. I just say that that's adulting. Paying your own bills, that's being an adult. Like, if you don't know how to do that, then I feel sorry for you. I'm not going to judge you, but I just feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
Because whenever you have to, then you're not going to know how to.
Same thing, Nene. My mother did everything. She had to. I just grew up with a single parent. She was once married and had a husband, but by the time I was born, she was separated. So she was living a single parent life. So, like, even with the word conditioning, I feel like like myself, I felt like I was conditioned because I had no choice. I was taught survival and over softness. So it's not about me being masculine in any way, but I know there has to be a balance between the two. I do what I have to do because I have to do it, not because I want to.
I mean, whenever you on your own at the age of 15 and 14 years old, there's a lot of stuff that we realize that we have to do.
Right. It
You know what
is.
I mean? Like, you don't have any choice. You got to go to work. Not working is not an option because if you don't work, you don't have any money to pay your bills. And guess what happens? There's conditions that happen. There's what are the consequences to not doing it. So we learned about that. We didn't have anybody to pay our bills for us or do those things, depending on how you're brought up. I see that. And then I see other people who are brought up and given everything and still demand to be independent because they don't want to be under the control of their families. And then you see the opposite where they are dependent upon their families, and that has nothing to do with them being masculine or feminine. That's just that dependence factor. I think, like you said it earlier, people do think of independent woman as a woman that's trying to do a man's role or whatever. And the only thing that I can say is that role thing, those are conditioned words.
Hmm.
Um, and Jay to the Donna said it. She said, it's like anything my husband did, I could do too. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we can. I was having this conversation earlier with my friend, and I said, there's a lot of things that I can do. I choose not to because my body's not made to do that.
Like taking
Yeah,
the
I could.
tire.
You know what I mean? Like I could physically, I could push myself to do that, but there are consequences to that. You
Right.
feel where I'm going? Yeah, it's just like that. It's like that roles thing. That's again a conditioned response that we have that we've been trained to think that there are different roles for people. But I respect people who can flow either way. Either way.
So, society has double standards. Like when it's assertiveness in men, that's leadership, right?
Yeah.
So, but if a woman does it, if a woman is assertive, it's aggression.
You
So,
see that in you see that in corporate America a lot. You know, I can be just as assertive as my YT counterpart, my YT male counterpart. I can do the same job, but because I raise my voice, I'm now the aggressive black female, and I got an attitude problem. Why
right.
do I have an attitude problem? Because I spoke up for myself, and I'm speaking up, and you know what I mean. Like I'm defending my bottom line. I'll put it like that. You had to defend your P&L at the end of the month. Either you got results or you didn't in the world that I came from. And yeah, I've been labeled as that, but I said I'm consistently one. They'd be like, "Oh, you a bitch." Okay, but I'm consistently a bitch. Let's get it. Let's keep it going and keep it moving. You know, but that to me used to infuriate me, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's aggression.
I'm sorry. I think I had an emotional response just now.
Hey, honey, how y'all
And
doing?
then I started sweating and everything. I'm over here like, oh, I'm mad.
Yeah, I know, cause I think about at my job, like my boss, like he could be screaming at the top of his lungs, you know, f this. He said his favorite word is the scream out loud is WTF. Like he said, you know, he said WTF. Why can't y'all get it right? Now, if I said it like that,
Mm.
here's your paper.
Must be on her period.
Go ahead and clock out.
First thing they gonna say is she must be on her period. You all right? You
Oh,
going through something?
That's it. You know, it's because you know when I'm at work, I talk low. I'm whispering, but you, because I don't want them to hear me. 'Cause I might be aggressive. I might be talking aggressive, or you will hear everything get quiet. Everything around me will get quiet because, oh, she's talking loud. Let's see what she's talking about.
Well,
Huh?
Diamond talking, y'all.
Hey, Mike. Good morning. Good morning.
hey, hi BRB. Hey.
So yeah, society, their double standards. Oh, we just, well, we're still just talking about, why the confusion between the two. We're just still. I didn't ask the next question yet. Like, why the confusion? And we're talking about why the confusion.
And
Me,
I feel like men also makes that confusion because they consider our our strength as masculine, and maybe some women, because I like to keep it inclusive.
right? So, Star, like, if you stand up for yourself, you are labeled masculine. And it has nothing to do with either one. It's just you standing up for yourself, and that's it. There's no rhyme or reason behind it other than you standing up for yourself. And I don't get it. That's the part that caused an emotional response for me. Is like I'm not being either. I'm being who I am,
Yeah.
and now you're giving me a label.
Yeah. I think this week, Puffy, I know Patty in here. Patty did, and they was talking about the movie Notebook. And one of my favorite parts of the Notebook is when Ryan Gosling is screaming, "What do you want? What do you want?" Like, when women don't know what to eat. What do you want? And it's like, if you know what you want, and then you put those expectations out there, you make those boundaries. Is that masculine?
Is it?
But because, like me, I don't like to make decisions. Is making decisions masculine? Because I'm like, I don't know what I want to eat. I don't know what I want. You gotta tell me. I mean, not that you gotta tell me, but convince me. Because I don't know.
I get that too. Like when you're going out on a date or you going to dinner or whatever, and then you like where do you want to go?
Yo, my husband is so conditioned at this point in time. So y'all know Friday he came home early, right? So I'm gonna give y'all this is a gender role reversal. I said, I'm getting ready to leave the hospital, take a shower, get dressed, we going on a date. He was like, how long? I said 30 minutes, right? Babe, when I got home, you could see where he took his clothes off. They were still there. Like it was like he just jumped in the shower and was ready when I got home, right? So when we're going out, I'm like, we're going to the movies. He's like, okay, what time? I said, what time? Then after the movies, I was like, okay, where do you want to eat? He's like, well, you said we can go to Logan's. And I said, no, it's not about me. It's about you. Where do you want to eat? Right? And he said, well, I said Logan's. And I'm like, is that what you want to do because of you? Or is that because of what I said, last week?
Okay, Mika.
So, like, literally, I was like trying to make it about him.
Yeah.
you know, and he's just so like, it's whatever you want, honey. And I'm like, I don't know what I want. Okay, I want whatever it is you want. We end up going to Logan's, but nevertheless, it was still like I
I
was
like
telling
that though.
her about him.
I like that.
I feel that, J2. Like, I don't know what I want at all sometimes. I don't know. We don't know what we want to eat.
We just be making up stuff as we go along.
Yeah. So we don't go, but we know what we don't want, and it's usually everything that they say until we get to something that sounds good.
They get frustrated. "Ugh," and then, don't eat my fries. Like, order extra. You know what?
You should have known to order some extra
You
fries.
should know me at this point. Don't penalize me and say, "Oh, you're masculine."
Oh, Mike said he wanted to go to Logan's, but he didn't want to be selfish.
Well,
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. But if you could have seen his face, I said, babe, I promise you, it's not a setup. Like, I'm not setting you up. Like, literally, I want to know what you want.
So how can we I'm hearing the echo.
Yeah, me too.
I don't, so it might be me.
So how do we define it?
How do we what?
How do we define it? Like, we confuse strength and heart with hardness, so how do we redefine it? How can we change it? Or can we?
I think that's going to be a societal thing.
Did the echoing stop when I was muted? Do you know?
Yeah, it did.
Is it echoing right now?
Well, you're not echoing, but
Whenever Diamond talks.
Let me see if it's me.
hey, good morning, Cole.
Hey, Cole.
Anybody want to speak on this topic? Yeah, please request to get in the box so we can hear you. Good morning, morning. So yeah, I mean, I want to know if can we? I mean, what type of work does it take to redefine the two, like strength with heart? Ooh.
We gotta stop all this social media telling us what it is and understand what you are, and stop letting other people define us. Like, just because we pay our bills and just because we can, survive without a man, that's not masculine. So strength should just be titled as strength. We shouldn't even have to redefine strength. It should just be accepted in a whether you're in your femininity or masculinity.
That's how I feel. I just feel like I need to be accepted for who I am. Yeah, Jay, I think that is you. Because I'm echoing. But I also, because for me, I guess people see me as being more masculine than feminine because they see that I do everything for myself by myself because that's just me. I mean, I guess that's the way I've been conditioned, quote unquote. So,
Diamond, you from the hood, okay?
and I am. I am. I grew up in the streets. I had no choice.
Exactly.
So,
I think it's because you wear tennis shoes all the time.
but I don't. You just don't see when I wear shoes.
Exactly.
People don't see that. They
But
don't
we
see.
already know though that fit gonna be on point. Okay. You wearing yellow, everything gonna be yellow.
I mean, I like being at 57. I want to be comfortable.
Yes.
Exactly. I really dislike the fact that because I don't like wearing heels. I don't. I prefer wearing tennis shoes, slides, sandals, or being barefoot.
Well, when you get to be my age, Mika.
I ain't your age. What the hell you talking about? I crossed over, baby. Okay, I've been feeling every bit of 50 since I turned 50. All right.
just say I want to be comfortable. I mean, if I
I've been like this since I turned 40. Them cute days is gone.
Yeah, no, let's not get it twisted. I own heels.
Okay.
I just don't wear them.
9 times out of 10, if I got on a long, long dress, I got on some tennis shoes underneath there.
I want to be comfortable.
Exactly.
That's
But
it.
people say that that's masculine, though. You know, it's
Oh
the
my
people.
God.
And then I mean, you have the men that don't want to be with women that don't wear heels. They just want to be with women that wear
They're
heels.
missing out on good women.
It sure is.
Somebody else said it. That said that earlier, Cole. Who else is gonna do it? Oh, Nene said it.
Mhm.
Thank you for the heart, me. Appreciate it. So double standard.
That's Teddy.
Yeah. Unlock your potential. Thank you. So I know. So okay, the energy spectrum, feminine versus masculine energy. So we all know like feminine energy is nurturing,
Hmm.
intuitive, collaborative, right? Masculine energy is supposed to be structured, goal driven, action oriented. But humans carry both energies. I mean, because balance, I mean, we need balance. So why can't you have both energy? Why
I
can't you?
I strive to have that balance every day.
Mhm.
I strive to have a balance in that every day. And it's not always going to be balanced because sometimes I have to be overly nurturing. It's situational for me. I can only speak for myself and what I strive for and why I switch between the two, or sometimes it might be heavy on this one or heavy on that side. I know that, you got to have both. You
Right, the
should
balance.
have both. You don't have to, but you should. You should strive to have both
So y'all, when do we feel most in our feminine energy though?
all the time.
all the time. Excuse me, Mika.
So if you feel feminine in your feminine energy all the time, when do you shift over to masculine?
All the time.
Masculine. And why?
All
Hey,
the time.
That
one. Mhm.
All balance, baby. You a Libra, okay?
Exactly.
So I can't
I'm a
say I'm
Libra.
always feminine and I'm not always masculine.
For the club cheers.
Yeah, exactly.
That.
Exactly, Soul Star.
Excuse me.
It's your intuition. You got to follow whatever the situation calls for. That's what you should be able to pull up.
Thanks for the daily heart me. Appreciate you, One Oak. So yeah, when do you feel most in your feminine energy? And when do you shift into masculine energy? And why? Good morning.
It's gonna be crazy
I.
when in between them sheets.
Oh, you're 100% woman, feminine then.
Uh-huh.
Nah, not all the time.
Well, it
Sometimes,
depends on.
sometimes you gotta.
Mhm.
Sometimes you
Hey,
flip on
Diva.
that masculine side too. Sometimes you put on that dominant, whatever it is.
I mean that's dominance, ain't it? That's more like
That's
not being a
submissive.
pillow
Yeah, that's submissive and
princess.
dominance. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So when do you shift, Jay? When do you shift? Good
Hey,
morning.
Elsa.
When I shift to the masculine side,
Good morning.
When it's my
when I
time.
shift to the masculine side, I don't know. I don't. When I go to work, when I get about them sheets, and I gotta go to work.
But why do you feel like you have to shift over to masculine when you go to work though?
I don't know because I just said masculinity is not paying your own bills and working and stuff. Um, but I have to bring more of those masculine traits out at the JO to the B to let them know it's above me.
Thank you, Diva.
Look at D.
Yes,
I haven't
thank
seen that Mama
you.
Diva
She hasn't
I
been
think
around.
she's retired now. She might be traveling or
coming all
something
around.
like
Hey, Mama D.
that. If you don't mind, Diamond, I had me just a little spark, the light bulb above your head, and I've been known to have those from time to time. But the thing is, I'm like these roles of being masculine or feminine. So I'm here thinking with your question that it's I feel like the transition is flawless. We do it even without thinking, just because we can quickly assess what needs to happen and how we're going to handle that. Are we going to handle that with nurturing and love and caring and or we going to have to take a little bit more of a firmer stance? And but why do those have to have names on them, like feminine and masculine? Why
Society.
does that? Yeah, yes, because this is me. I'm Susie. Why do I have to say, oh well, Susie's really, kind of sounding well, with my chipmunk voice, I really sound masculine. But we all can be hyped up, but I don't know, just something about it's like, why do we have to have these kind of names and pronouns and that kind of thing? And that's it's just a thought, but
I was
we
looking at the
can.
definitions, Mama, while you was talking, and they said, how do you describe a masculine person or woman? And it says, the traits are traditionally viewed as masculine in Western society, and those traits include strength, courage, independence, leadership, dominance, and assertiveness.
Hmm, okay.
And and then when I earlier when I defined the terms, each one I said independence in a woman is self-sufficiency, decision-making ability, confidence, emotional intelligence, and financial autonomy. And then
So,
that,
like, we're both, isn't it kind of saying, like, okay, being independent is masculine? Like, because I never really looked at the definition, I ain't gonna lie.
but I guess it depends on is it independent period or independence in a woman.
I think it's period.
Mm-hmm.
But independence in a woman is self-sufficiency, in which I would consider independent, and whatever falls under independent means.
Because I'm single.
Mm-hmm.
I'm independent. Is that me drawing on my masculine energy? Because that's not femininity.
I feel like it
Yeah.
is because you have to have that balance. I mean, I'm single, I'm independent,
Mm-hmm.
but I have to. It's a lot of things that I have to do on my own that someone in a relationship wouldn't have to do. And for me, I see it's only because of it's my choice. Now I can call a man and have him come over here and do whatever, or but then is it a service? Is it a service or
Like, can I just get you a 12 pack, or do I gotta go in between them sheets?
Mm.
Why do we feel that we have to pay with that though? Do you ever notice that that is always where when we ask a man, it's like, okay, am I going to have to give him some to get this done? Or what's going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, why is that a conditioned thought?
Because I don't know. Because, like, what else, as a woman, what else can you give? Or what else do they
Or maybe.
want?
What else do they want? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Like one thing I always tell my daughter, like when I'm on the side of like something happens and my car breaks down. When a man comes help me, they all of them, most of them, they all offered or wanted me to go back to a hotel room with them.
Just for them to come in and help you.
I mean, they was like they would stop. I wouldn't know these people, and they were mostly certain colors, but they would always be like, "Hotel, like you want to go hotel?" Like, no, and I don't want your help.
Or sometimes you might get a statement like, "Well, what you gonna give me?"
What am I gonna get?
Not exact same thing. I'd be like, just good karmic energy, sir. That's what you ought to do.
Yeah, men. Yeah, and that's all. Women want the same thing, King. Like, well, most. I'm speaking for myself. That's all I want. I can't speak for everybody else, but I want peace, understanding, and unity. But
I think they
but
might be looking for a different kind of unity.
You said boys want physical affection.
that's the difference. But how do we get that out there, like without women being labeled as masculine though?
I think we need to put it in our labels. Like, I mean, we may not be, on big platforms, but I think as we talk about it, or maybe like even have like a whole movement on it. Like, let's bring our femininity out, and how can we bring our healthy masculinity out so we can start showing new examples and changing those terms that we can Google.
Yeah.
Because I'm over here like now just because I read that definition. Independence is masculinity. I think I gotta go deeper in my search. Like, how is being independent a masculine trait? Because I'm not too spiritual, okay, but I know that there's a defined masculine and then there's a defined feminine energy. And it feels like even right now in the world, we are ruled by that masculine energy when it was, I guess this could be, a different, somebody may have a different opinion, but when we operate in the femininity, that's where we get the nurturing, because for some reason, which we ain't talked about, men think they can't have feminine traits, or that they shouldn't have feminine traits, and they do. And
Yeah.
so it's like, if we say a healthy balance, but what man's gonna say, "Oh yeah, I got some feminine traits"? No, they'd rather be like, "Oh, I'm all masculine here. I ain't no simp."
Right. And that's just that again, I think that stems from society, or that being pushed on them. Like they can't show that side because it makes them feel less than.
And see, and King, let's go off of that. You said false. The world is ruled by opinion instead of coming together. Well, one of the key words in all definitions that we looked at is that masculinity is independence. So coming together is more nurturing, which is femininity.
Okay.
I like to come together as much as possible.
And that's your opinion, King, and we definitely appreciate it. But we're just giving our opinions, but once again, we thank you certainly for yours.
So, question: can independence become unhealthy if it stems from unhealed trauma?
I think well, yes, definitely, because you said it stems from unhealed trauma. But yes, if you let it rule, because just like you need a healthy balance in the world, you need it within self and in those situations.
Because I feel like softness isn't a weakness; it's strategic. Like,
I like that. That's good, Diamond. I like that.
But what do it mean, Mama?
Amen. Make sure you following Yolanda Green that just came in, please.
hey, Yolanda,
Oh, okay,
713.
sure.
Hey.
She from the 713.
Is it still echoing? Do I need to go out and come back?
No, you good.
It stopped. It been stopped. So yeah, I mean, Yes, One Oak. They should complement each other. It's supposed to be a balance. I mean, I don't know how I should say this, but when I said softness is a weakness, it's not. It isn't a weakness. It's strategic. Like um, why? Like for me, like okay, if I was talking to a guy or something, and I have to not, I have to become that feminine person um to communicate with that to that guy only because I don't want to seem weak or I don't want to say I just want to like I'm saying it in my head but it's not coming out my mouth the way I wanted to wanted to but I think in my mind I have to soften myself in order to communicate rather than I don't want to come off as aggressive or um dominating a conversation or anything like that. I want to be like on equal playing field. I want the conversation to go flow smoothly. So strategically in my head, I'm want the conversation to go smoothly.
So do you feel like you have to do that, or like is it? It
I
just
do.
depends on the
I
person.
not. I feel like I have to do that.
Okay, well, what about with like just friends, right? Like y'all hear me say a lot that like I like to travel, and when I like to travel, I'm usually the person that trying to be I guess responsible in the group. Like we're gonna do this, we're gonna do get that, maybe taking care of everybody. Um, Whereas now I try to take a role like, oh, y'all just tell me what I'm doing, where we going. Um, I don't really want any control of that. um, do you feel the same in female relationships that you have to bring out more of that masculinity side?
No. Me personally, no, I don't have to bring out I'm not around, like, I'm gonna use y'all for an example. No, I don't feel like that around y'all. I just be who I am. And, if we decide we're gonna do something, we do it. If not, then I'm fine with that too, because I like doing nothing.
I feel like between us, because us three, we travel consistently together a lot, right? Um, I feel like we've matched each other's energy and knowing how to read when and who's going to do what. You know what I mean? Where we all exchange that energy, where it's like, okay, what we going to do today? What's this going to happen? And why are we pausing? Did I say
Not
something?
to hate pops.
Oh, I thought you said
What
pause.
pops?
No,
No,
I
but I feel like,
wanted to make sure he heard because he spoke twice.
K-pop. But yeah, so I feel like it depends. It's situational upon the people that you're with and who you're with, and if you feel comfortable enough to allow yourself to be led. I think we're all alpha females. We know when to be betas, if that makes a sense. If that makes any sense whatsoever. And it's always where no one is always saying blah 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 blah, and it doesn't always have to be one person's specific way. Like we can all do nothing and be comfortable together. But not a lot of people can say that. That's one of the things I like about the relationship that I share with you guys.
Yeah.
But I can't say that about any other groups that I've gone out with. I'm going to be honest with you. I cannot say that honestly, that I did not have to feel like I had to be that person that was like the tour group guide, or I
Taking care
haven't
of
been
everybody.
yeah, or I haven't been placed in that position. I know in my family, that label has been placed on me, and I've tried to give it up so many times, and yet it keeps coming back to my lap, and it's just like, no, give that to so and so. Let her do that. Nah, Mika, you got to plan that. No, I don't. I don't. I can't. I don't have the energy for it.
Or the person that's responsible for it.
Yeah, but I
Because
found
I think for me, like I'm just automatically if I'm about to fly somewhere, I'm already like, okay, where the bags at? Let's secure the transportation. Let's get here. We're about to do there, and maybe I have a little OCD because I don't care about just doing nothing, but I know that I got to think about transportation. How we gonna move around? How we gonna get to A to B? How we making sure that we gonna eat and have those plans versus just relaxing like,
but
oh,
I
this is what
also
we
feel
doing.
like
Oh,
you've been able to go on trips with us and been able to not have to do that. And I've been proud of you.
yeah,
I
because
have been.
I've been just showing up like, huh?
Yeah. Like, what's going on? What we doing? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I have to say that I'm very proud of you. Past, I think, 2 trips, you were able to sit back and just relax and enjoy yourself and not be
Yeah,
held
you
responsible
just
for anybody else.
you just do you.
Do you? Be like, okay, where's J2? She's somewhere. She's here. You
She
know,
on
she can pop up. She'll be up in a minute.
well, you know, if you're on the boat, she on the boat.
On this
She,
boat somewhere.
okay, okay.
We're on the boat. There's
She
plenty of
on the
places.
boat.
Yeah, but
I don't know any other way, like other way to be, like, but people know, like, yeah, I am that person that just I need someone else's leadership. Like I want it sometimes because I can relax, but I have to trust you.
mm,
Is that control? Is that masculine control?
No, that was you just
see,
stepping out on faith.
that's that line. That's that thin line. Some people might say that was a masculine move, and it really wasn't. It was just a J2 move.
Not at all.
So.
Goodness.
So, practical ways to reconnect with feminine energy while remaining independent. What are some practical ways? Uh,
um,
practice receiving. That's what I've been trying to do, y'all. Practice
mm,
receiving. Like I
receiving
don't.
compliments and help and
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, all of that. Just tip. Let that Libra scale tip a little bit, just a little bit every now and
Ew.
then.
Libra girl. Diamond's my Libra girl.
And I guess me too, Diamond. I was gonna say, sitting with the feedback. Because, I think a lot, like at times, like if you're having a session or like if you're talking to someone, you're quick to be like, but I got this under control. At the same time, you're telling your problem or issue, but taking the feedback and just sitting with it and having those second conversations before I speak. Having those second conversation with myself. That's what I mean. Because I feel like that I am good at change and being adaptable. I just gotta work on
And it's not.
receiving.
Yeah, and it's not easy when, especially when you get to be my age. No, I'm just joking. No, but it takes a
Mm.
lot of work on yourself though. No, Aquarius, it's general conversation. It's like we define it. We just trying to break it down and make it where we can understand it a little better. I know, like for me, I just wanna. I guess I just want to be me without a label.
Without the label.
Yeah. And I don't know. I guess it always triggers me because I just think about, and I hate that we have this man versus woman thing, but I just hate that independent women gets labeled with that toxic masculinity. Because I mean, I don't know if we talked about this already, but having that balance, there's nothing wrong with having that balance, right? And maybe you tip more on the masculine side, right? That's why we got different types of people in the world, man or female. But when it becomes that toxic masculinity, the toxic side, that's what needs to be addressed. And can you have toxic femininity? Because we got people that hate feminism. So
Hmm.
Mhm. Hold up.
Hey, Cole.
Yes.
Hey,
What's going on, boo?
nothing.
Mhm.
Do y'all feel like y'all have any toxic masculinity traits? Like,
Toxic.
because us women, we in our accountability phase. Okay.
I
Toxic.
can't say that I have toxic. I'll say it's perceived as toxic.
Have you ever looked back at it and be like, okay, I can see how it is like that?
No, because I think it's only perceived as a toxic masculinity because I'm a woman
Mm.
and because I do a lot for myself.
Mm.
So could you give me an example of the toxic part that maybe
So
what that looks like?
there's a phrase I use in dating of I need a man who's comfortable being wanted, not needed. And they deem that as something toxic because a man's innate desire is to be needed and to fulfill those needs.
Okay.
So because I tell them they're not needed, they're wanted. Like, I want you to add value to my life. I don't need you to do it because my life has value. I can handle everything myself. I want somebody to go through it with me, but I don't need that.
But do
And
you
it gets
say
deemed
that?
as toxic. I do say it.
But why does it have to be toxic?
Oh, why does it have
It's
to?
deemed as toxic because I feel that way.
I guess it all depends on the receiver's ego.
And especially feeling that way as a black woman, you're angry or too strong or too hard, and they want soft women, which is why you have powerful women that demand a powerful partner, but powerful men will date a barista.
Mhm.
Or powerful women will date a Tyrone.
But women that do step down to date a Tyrone are doing it simply to make society more comfortable with them being powerful. So
Okay.
they're like, oh, she can be powerful if she has a guy that's not bringing much to the table, because that makes her stronger.
Mhm.
But both parties can't be powerful when it's the woman. Society don't like that.
I just wish I mean, we always talk about the masculine and the toxic part, the bad parts. And I think what gets ignored is the feminine, being feminine and how men can also have that feminine energy to where, and I don't mean to get deep here, to where we got this whole Diddy situation right now.
Hold up. Pause.
Well,
Pause a second, Jason. Keyshawn, I need you to leave. Mhm. Go ahead, Jay.
Because you want to hide that feminine side or think that feminine side is simping. Um, Maybe those are the more the men that take that as like you being toxic. That's being
Weakness.
toxic.
don't jump off that bed.
What you got going
Because
over there?
because
Sit
I
down.
ain't, cause I don't mean to
Sit
bring this up. If he
down.
if some of these
Pablo,
men was okay
get
with the
over here.
feminine side,
Sit
maybe
down.
we'll have less of SA.
Oh.
Mhm.
Huh?
If men was okay with their feminine side, maybe we'll have less SA.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that is, I really feel like SA is a result of wanting, having to feel superior or controlling. It's a way of control. And that to me, I think
Oh,
it takes a weak person to do that to someone else. That's my opinion, and I'm standing 10 toes down with it. So if you don't like it, go ahead, report me. I don't give a fuck. But I'm just saying, a person that does that to somebody is weak.
they are.
Mhm.
Well, like, I always wonder why it's okay. So if a man leans into his feminism, he's deemed as sensitive. If
Mm-hmm.
we lean into our masculinity, we're considered aggressive,
Right. Like it's so
especially
extreme.
among black women. If a black woman steps into her masculine energy to handle things, we're aggressive. We're deemed as angry. as though we step into it out of a place of hostility. And really, it's necessity for us to maintain balance.
Word.
Jay, you get your pickle juice yet?
Drink some pickle juice. It does work, babe. It's the sodium that
It does. It does. Pickle juice changes everything.
Or lick some salt.
I get in my heating pad.
Pickle juice, girl.
Let me play the bowls. Close the bowls. I'll be right back.
Pickle juice, pickle juice, pickle juice, pickle juice.
Pickle juice.
Lord, thank you, Aquarius.
I'm gonna drink some pickle juice just for y'all. How many pickle juices you gotta drink?
Just drink like
2 ounces.
2 swallows.
Cole just had to be specific because I was like, just
Go.
gulp.
I just know. So I used to be an athletic trainer in high school, and you give them 2 to 6 ounces of pickle juice to eliminate cramping and muscle recovery.
Wow. I wish men could tell me what they have to go through like once a month like that.
They don't.
They can't tell you.
They don't. Their woe is me is, oh, I wake up with a stiff one. Oh no. It lasts like all of a couple of minutes and your life is back to normal. We gotta wait. We gotta suffer.
Yeah, so I guess they gotta deal with us.
Ah. Okay, Toddy.
Yeah, but you know, they get one, they can just tuck it in their waistband and go about their day.
And you see why I asked my grandson to leave?
Oh.
So Cole, question for you: Is your
Yeah.
independence empowering your femininity or replacing it?
I think it empowers it from my perspective. Because I have a family of strong women that have always, like the vast majority of them, they've been married, but they've gotten divorced and they've held it down on their own for their kids.
I think that speaking from a mother's perspective, that's it's automatic. That kicks
Yeah.
in automatically.
I think because oh, thank you, honey. They came from a world, like my parents come from a world where it was like what you had to do. You get married so that someone can take care of you.
Thanks for coming in.
Yes.
And then that generation of moms raised us of don't rely on that because people fall in and out of love. You need to be solid on your own ground and invite someone into that world. And so that's what I've worked towards is I want to stand on my own and not need someone there to be able to sustain life, but to be able to do that on my own and add someone in that supplements that.
Okay. It's just I don't know. It's because this fine line.
It's wow.
It's so.
Now I will say the downside of it is that I've worked so hard to build on my own that now I won't get married without a prenup.
But what if the other person asks you to do the same? Will you?
I'm here for it.
That's interesting as well. Is that the masculine side of you?
I think that is the self-preservation side of me because I've had so many aunts that didn't have one. And when they went through a divorce, they're giving half their stuff to somebody who ain't doing nothing to earn it. Like, it's more common in my family that the females are the breadwinners. We're the one holding the fort down. And then you get divorced and they get half your stuff with none of the work that you put into it. So a prenup protects me and what I've done on my own.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does. But I mean, I get it. I'm just, because you don't hear, well, I don't hear women talk about prenups. I don't hear it. And, that's why I asked if it was part of your masculinity, because I don't know. I don't hear people talk about it. And then
I
maybe I'm,
think it's always been given a bad rap when it's really meant to protect both of you, because people just assume a prenup means, oh, this is how I keep all my money to myself. For me, a prenup would be what I had when I walked into this marriage is mine. What we build together, we can split.
oh,
But
that's,
you're not going to take a part of my retirement for the rest of your life.
oh, yeah, that's just so. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the rising key, Nova. So, is hyper independence considered like lack of trust or past pain? And I think Mika spoke on that earlier.
I think that really depends on the person. Like, what is their independent motivation for stepping into that state?
Because I guess like that would be more masculine, like the hyper independence. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like I'm still I'm still learning, y'all. I'm still learning.
Well, it's kind of it's like Mika said, society has to change, because if a man does everything for himself, he's just being a man. But if we do everything for ourselves, we're being masculine.
But you know how sometimes like men are not as vulnerable as women in certain situations. Like they was like
Yes.
brought up like men don't cry, blasey blasey blasey,
You know where
and
that comes from, sadly?
where
Where that ideation, that thought, those thoughts, where it comes from, that men don't cry, dry up those tears.
I mean, I guess it becomes from being passed down
It
from.
comes from us as their moms. Believe it or not,
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, that thought process is passed on to our sons. Because I've heard so many women tell their kids this, and I stay in my place because I'm not a mom. Well,
Hmm.
a traditional mother. I
Hmm.
stay in my place and I don't say anything, but I hear it and I want to say, don't tell that boy that.
Oh, I've never
You
said
know what I
that.
mean? I want to tell them so bad, but also JJ is very confident in his manliness, but he can also be very vulnerable. And that to me, I commend you for doing that and instilling that in him. You know, my husband is comfortable crying at a movie because
Mm-hmm.
I don't say, "Oh, that's some punk ass shit to cry." You know what I mean? I'm like, "Baby, did that touch
It's the
you?"
movie they acting.
You know what I mean?
Have y'all seen the latest trend where the guys, the men are calling their friends and telling them good night, sweet dreams, and how like most of them respond like, "Yo, what are you doing? Why you calling me like that, yo? Like, what you a grown man telling me good
See,
night?"
Yeah, but
that makes me sad for them, because I have a group of guy friends that are really sensitive with each other.
Mm.
And they do tell each other good night and good morning, and they're like, oh, what's wrong? Like, they're very sensitive with each other. They take really good care of each other, and it's a really sweet thing to see.
Well, yeah, I guess that's a real good test too, because it was funny because actually G-Co's friend did it to him, and of course G-Co didn't have that masculine response, and his friend was like, he was like, "Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with all these dudes and this masculinity. Like, you can't say goodnight to your homeboy."
Yeah, JJ tell his homeboys. He say, "I love you, man."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, even as a woman telling that to a friend, like I got a good guy friend. He comes to visit all the time, and like he was like the first, like one of my first male friends who just he told me he loved me, and it was nothing like he wanted to be a relationship, nothing. It was just like I love you, like I love you, and that was weird because I really didn't hear much from my dad, even though I knew he loved me.
Hmm. Do your dad have any feminine traits that you see now that you know what they are?
I don't know, be feminine, but like my dad is the one who really taught me how to clean up. He's the most organized person. He the one that taught me how to clean up while you cooking. That was his lesson. Um, I don't know if that's feminine, but he washes clothes. Like my dad has always washed the clothes in the house. He washes them and folds them.
I see, and I wouldn't think that was being feminine. I think that's a man doing what a man does. Like,
Hmm.
Yeah, he got life skills. Good on his
yeah,
family for teaching him that.
kudos for that.
Hey.
I mean, I've had situations where, like, when I was younger and dating, um, my boyfriend told me it was very weird because my brother had more domestic life skills than I did. But because he was my older brother growing up, like, he would incorporate my laundry in his, he would iron my clothes for me. And so, like, I'm still not good at it now, but like, I'm a whole adult. And still, when he comes over, I was like, you want to press these jeans for me?
So is it because he was the firstborn and that was instilled in him, and you just came along after? And
So, because my mom was a single mom and she never wanted him to feel like he needed to be with a woman to have food and take care of himself. So she taught him how to cook for himself, how to do his laundry, how to iron his clothes. But growing up, because she worked with me more, he just did those things for me because he wanted to be the big brother, like the dad figure, because my dad wasn't there. So he just got into this habit of, oh, well, I'll do this for you. I'll do this for you because he wants to take care of the females of the family. Like, you need something done, don't call somebody, just call me. I got this. But he wasn't doing it as I'm trying to be the patriarch of this family. He's doing this because in our family, the men support the women. They do what needs to be done when she doesn't have time to do it.
hey, Jamel.
So if that means you got to be the one cooking dinner and doing the laundry, then you step up and you do that so she can handle business.
Mm. And there it is.
Hey.
But, I'm also hyper aware that the parenting philosophies that I was raised with are not American. My mom spent most of her life overseas, so she engages in a more European parenting style, and there's just a lot more freedom and thinking your kids need to learn everything regardless of their gender.
Was she born? Your mother born in Europe?
She was born in Virginia and she was in Europe from the time she was 2 till she was 17.
Oh, okay. Wow, I didn't know that. Learn
So
something.
it's also the experience of my mom did not grow up experiencing what racism was like. Initially, she didn't find out about it until she moved to the States when she was almost 18. So she missed the civil rights era because they didn't have those issues overseas. Overseas, she was nothing more than an American.
Wow, interesting.
And she was an American that learned German culture. She learned to speak German because that's where she lived.
Mm. Do anyone else have any questions that they want to ask, or any statements they want to make, or comments, or? Um, I hear bird.
This
I'm
is
still trying to
so
wake
much.
up.
Those are Goku's birds. If she's still on the screen,
But
like her bird.
I'm like halfway here because we had an impromptu. We went to Janet Jackson last night.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
How was it?
wow.
That was pretty awesome. But we didn't get home till like midnight.
A few hours ago. For
Yeah,
you.
basically.
But do y'all feel pressure to act hard or to protect yourself? Do y'all feel pressure doing that?
I did
Yes.
when I
Yes.
moved to DC. I did,
Yes.
and I think, and it's only because of
The environment?
the environment, and because I was told if you walk around smiling, people gonna beat you up. So I walked around with
A
a
straight face.
frown on my face, and so that people would leave me alone. And I was light skinned with glasses, and yeah, I got picked on a lot. So I learned how to act hard just to preserve myself, so nobody would try to fight me. But now, no.
Yeah, I think that's why people say I look mean
I think it's
because
'cause
I think I just have a friendly disposition because people talk to me whether I like it or not. Shush, Cabo.
but I was saying,
Case in point, talking to me when I don't want to.
yeah, people say I look mean. They say I look mean all the time, and I think that was that was just. Why are you laughing? I get that all the time. Like you look mean because I don't smile or I don't even be frowning or anything. I just look the way I look
You,
only because I always felt like growing up, I always had to protect
shh.
myself. I always had to be on guard. I always had to be like, I had to have that look like I'm not one to be effed with. And it has, it has nothing to do with femininity or masculinity. It's just the environment that I grew up in. You had to have tough skin. So,
so. I started laughing because you remember when I told you when I first met you, I was scared of you.
I mean, I get it.
Me
people don't
too.
know how to approach me.
I was like, she's mean. That's all I kept saying was like, I just didn't want
You
to
know
get
how nervous I
inside.
was to pull up on her unsupervised?
I was like, she's mean. I don't know. Cause I used to pull up on you. It was you and somebody else that were always together. You guys always had lives together. And I would come in there and I was drawn to you, but it was just like, I'm like, hi. It was
I
one of
remember
those.
that.
I was like, hi, Diamond. It was like one of those type of things.
Like Aquarius, I get it all the time. Like, yeah, I promise you, I am not mean. I'm like one of the sweetest persons you ever meet in your lifetime.
She is. She is. And I think I said it so much that you got upset with me one day. Stop saying I'm mean. And I'm like, okay.
I mean, to be fair, there was a time where I think we can each identify we were a little scared of Diamond, but that's okay. She real sweet.
Amen.
Aquarius hit the nail on the head. Like, I'm just unbothered with
Without
boundaries.
with boundaries, yes.
Ooh, who's switching
Uh
boxes?
oh.
We need to do that so that you can we need to do a power tap real quick. Get to 20K. I don't know who switched
I
it.
did it. I did. I the one. I the pappy.
I was like, ooh, I didn't touch anything.
Buttons were pushed.
Mama needs to fail.
Yeah,
Call me
she
daddy.
fell.
I'm the pappy.
Yeah, I'm your daddy.
Mama needs to. What happened? Did you leave or did you fall out? What happened?
Every time I try to do something, I gotta find my goddamn green screen again.
How you
I'll
swiping
say this.
live and you live?
Is
And you-
My life is gonna fight.
Mm.
What Cole about to say something?
I was just thinking because you just said the whole daddy thing, and it's like leaning into that. It is a way that I can lean into my masculine energy, and people are okay with it.
Yeah, because they the one started it,
Yeah.
and you finished.
Hey, daddy.
What about you, Jay? Have you ever been called too strong or too much just for being Well, I guess being too strong.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I ain't never been told I was too strong. I mean, I just,
Well, the question was, I'm sorry. Do you feel pressure to act hard to protect yourself?
yeah, because I feel like I was born a little gangster, you know what I'm saying? Trey Deuce, what up, though? Because all my life I had to fight.
From social therapy to hood therapy.
I had to fight little boys, little girls, and
You was a fighter, Jay?
yeah, believe it or not, I was a fighter. I mean, I like to talk first, but like if we couldn't get to talk, yeah, we was meeting after school, and it was straight going on. And what I tell my friends, I'd be like, man, I really think that we are like some little ninjas. Like we grew up very like we could beat up dudes. Like we used to tell dudes like or females suck my D, and we ain't got no D.
Dude, I just said that like 3 times this morning on a call.
I know. I was about to say women say that now as adults.
So we
So,
used to think like we used to think we could beat them up, and yeah.
so I have another question then, because I know I do this. Do you struggle to intentionally lean into femininity to make them feel more masculine?
No.
No.
Repeat that question.
Like, do you struggle to lean into femininity just to make them feel more masculine? Like, you can open the jar, but you act like you can't just so they feel like a big, strong person.
Only one I needed.
Sometimes I do.
I mean, I even do it for my sibling. I know I can do something myself, but I purposely say that I can't to help him feel like, yeah, I'm the dude.
But who is them? Are we talking about men?
Or whoever they.
Men or women.
No, I don't. If I need help, I'm gonna ask for help.
Yeah, I need help
If I don't,
now.
So, like,
When I was
I'm fine
younger,
asking for help, but there are times where I'll ask for help I don't need to make someone feel like they add value.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes I do. Like it was funny. Sometimes I do. Like I don't know about the opening of the jar thing, but because I'm here by myself, I live alone, so if that shit ain't opening, it ain't.
Right? No, like, now, reality is I bought a tool from Big Lots like 4 years ago, and if I can't open shit, that thing opens it for me. But
You and your gadget.
I know I have that, but when like my dude was around, I'm like, oh, open that for me.
Hey, good vibes.
like
I mean,
decision
it applies
making,
to a
I don't
lot of
like making
things. I have a
decisions.
gadget. Look, I got gadgets that can do everything a man can do, but I choose to allow them to do it.
I like to call. I would like to present them with my choices and bring them in transparency. Like, help me make a decision. I don't know. Should I do this? Should I do that? Even if I'm driving and I want to keep straight or take a left because it might be a different route, I'd be like, which way should I go? A or B? Did somebody tell me A or B?
It'll be.
And I'd be like, all right, boop.
Slim, the topic was what's the difference between independent and masculine in women? That's what we've been talking about.
Mama been quiet.
I have. I've struggled with this topic a little bit. But want to be respectful and everything, and because then I get to want to joke around, and it's not a joking matter. So I've just taken everything in, and I hope that it will help me be a little bit more decisive about this topic. Because y'all are brilliant women, so insightful, so beautiful, and I'm like, I don't know. It's just how could anybody call you guys masculine or any of us in here? But it's they're just words. So
It's all good, Aquarius. So, I don't know. Is anybody learning anything or picking up anything from this topic? Like, because
yes.
'cause I
have
think
you?
you said, have I? Yeah, when I hear other people' point of views, I do. Yeah, because I'm still going to continue to be who I am. I mean, because
Yes.
I wanted to hear other people's views because I was like torn between why is there a title for femininity and masculinity? Like sometimes you just don't have a choice, and like I've been saying, it's a balance between the two.
Hmm.
Sometimes you just have to. Sometimes you have to put on the pants. Sometimes you.
You you
Go ahead.
really do, Diamond. Now, I was just going to say quickly is, we've been, how do we, if this is a systemic problem, well, how do we solve it? But I really think it's either something you can even start on the just, if you are a single person, of course, of starting it on your own and what you think about it. Like I said, y'all have given me a plethora of things to think about here, that furthers my what I've done on my own, the Googling it and that kind of thing. But as a couple, I think if we just spoke, if we spoke our roles and what works for us and what makes us happy, then it could be such a smoother transition instead of that headbutting of that's what I'm supposed to do. No, that's what I'm supposed to do. No, I'm gonna handle that. Man, just relax. Just relax.
But the last question, y'all, before I wrap it up, do y'all find it hard to ask for help? No, I don't.
Sometimes,
I
yes.
I
used
used
to.
to. I used to.
Ah.
I used to because I'm thinking of ways to do it myself.
Yeah, I sure
Goodbye.
don't anymore.
You find it hard to ask for help? Yeah. I mean, I understand what you said. Depends on who you asking, but like asking for help. Period. Like, do y'all find it hard to ask for help?
Not anymore.
And that's what we was talking about earlier. Goodbye. It's like you know, sometimes sometimes you have to ask for help. Does that make you any less feminine or any more masculine? And is that like a female's natural instinct is to just, do it herself, whether they're with someone or not? Hey, Zariah.
Okay, Dottie. Oh no.
Ugh.
Okay, Daddy.
Ugh.
Thank you. I appreciate you, sis.
Sorry, D.
Mm,
What's up,
Soraya.
Zariah?
mm. You just wouldn't want to throw it in my face later. Oh, yeah, that too. That too. You remember what I did for you? That thing. Mm-mm. I'm be like, no, I don't remember.
I don't.
And you know me, I could be just crazy or in the trees, but ego, is the ego masculine?
I think so, J2. I think it's got a big place in the
Mm,
description. Emasculating. Yeah. I've been told that from
dang,
time to time.
that's that's wild. It's wild to me. I don't understand the title though. That's what's hard for me right now, y'all. The title of femininity and masculinity. Those titles. It's hard for me to grasp.
Crazy.
My answer to that is no.
Let's go. Thank you,
I don't
bro.
think ego is masculine. Um, I
But
think we
I think it's
associate that
associated.
when we say, yeah, I think it's associated like you got a big ego, like a man.
Yeah.
That man's ego is huge because he's dominant or whatever, or it's just again, it's a stereotype. But I personally don't see. Hold on a second, guys, for the noise. Grandma, please don't open that door. Thank you.
don't count.
Have you guys ever been told just this really quickly? You act just like your daddy. What
Well,
if you are?
Why dare somebody to insult me like that?
Woo, boy, that would chop my whole backside. Whole backside.
What did you just say?
Oh, I said I would dare somebody to say something like that to me because
No, I was
I am
asking,
definitely not like
asking
that
Susie.
person.
What did Susie say?
I said I've had people tell me before that you act just like your daddy. If I'd had to assert being aggressive or, or like everybody, can we get it together for a minute? Like you said, I don't know, for a meal or whatever, or, just something simple like that. And it'd be like, you're acting just like your daddy. No, no. Oh, God. Sorry.
those dogs are aggressive. Oh, they masculine? No, but Slim said in the initial, but see, you knew in the initial that you needed help. So why you didn't ask for help during the initial? That's what I'm. If you need help, why not ask? I'm learning that myself. Like, just go ahead and ask for help. But I don't know if y'all see my last video where I went on my little respective vent. Slim, I know you see that. But that was crazy though to me. Like, I'm asking for help and then you still don't get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I am going to wrap this up. So, any closing remarks, any closing statements, like before I do?
Anybody want 205-pound dogs?
I got two 24 and 19-pound dogs that think that they weigh.
Yikes.
We got miniature Rottweilers, Dobermans. I mean,
Yeah, miniature Rottweilers that, speaking of which, they came over here talking. Just came by.
I hear them tap their feet tapping.
That one.
Thank you, good vibes. Thank you. I wish I would have came in earlier. But so if this topic resonated with you and you want to DM me or tag me at 31 Voices Podcast and tell me how you define independence for yourself, let me know. I want to know because I'm still borderline. I'm on a borderline with this with the title. So yeah, I will just tag me or send me or DM me at 31 Voices Podcast here on TikTok, or you can follow me, subscribe to me on YouTube. I will be downloading this on between later today and tomorrow. The entire episode will be on YouTube, and maybe a couple of shorts as well, depending on what TikTok will allow me to have. Um, so, did y'all have anything y'all wanted to add? Mama Nista, Jade, Mika, Cole.
I would say within ourselves as well as those around us, start disassociating feminine with submissive and masculine with dominance. I think if we start within ourselves and continue to spread that around, that's how we change things.
Yeah.
Because those words are not synonymous with those things.
I agree with that. I don't like how your box is always making my head small. Like this is making me.
You are Shri. I wasn't gonna say anything.
To be fair, though, Mika does have a little head for the record.
The lies people tell online.
I got a big ass head.
I ain't talking about heads.
Thank you, Cole, for trying to come in the clutch. But
They're talking about these masculine traits.
my head is
You do have a little head. You're like, you got a little head and a little
It is
body.
proven that my head is larger than an average woman's head. Okay.
Well,
Full of
Like my
brains,
forehead
girl.
is big,
Mm,
but my head is little.
You do have a tiny head, but
you also have a very little head.
You do got a little
You
head.
do, Slimmy. You do,
I have
Slimmy.
a strong jaw. Sis. Strong jaw.
But you just gotta accept it. Y'all got little heads. I got a round face.
Slim got a strong jaw.
Mika can't stop pinching.
yeah, I'm a pinched in cheeks. I told you.
Just a pinch between the cheeks and I'm sorry. I'm
I
not
told her I was gonna pinch her
No
cheeks.
jokes.
She thought I was joking. It was not a joke.
It was not a joke. And sometimes I don't even think she realizes she pinches my cheeks. She just does it when she sees me.
Yeah.
Aw.
Like this involuntary need to reach out, and she's not hugging you. No, she's coming for them cheeks.
Hey, Black
What was
Lotus.
that?
I am gonna give a good hug though.
You are.
Gary. Mama love you.
What's up, Lotus?
How's he doing?
You wanna say hi to your aunties? Say hi to your aunties.
You know I got them cats.
They still there?
They still there?
I stepped on one last night.
Oh, Jesus.
Did it
Are
smack
they
you?
inside or outside?
They inside cats.
Okay. So you a cat mama now?
I'm a grandma.
Uh-huh.
They
I know she did not come home with cats.
two of them.
She got two
She came.
grand cats.
Diamond,
Yes.
my lovely, beautiful Diamond. You were getting ready to speak.
Yes, I was going to say the outro. I was going to go in with my
Okay.
outro. Maybe I can
Do
carry
it.
on because I'm going to cut
Do
it
it.
off
Never-
at the outro.
Keep talking, ladies. Keep talking.
No, I'm
Taka,
saying
taka, 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 taka,
I
taka.
don't
You
want.
put us in our place. You was like, y'all shut up. Diamond, what were you saying?
No, because this is the difficult. So, what's the difference between independent and masculine? It's not just about what you do, it's about the energy you carry while doing it. Independence is powerful. Masculinity isn't bad, but balance. That's the goal. Thank you for joining me today on the 31 Voices podcast. As always, I hope this sparks something in you.